set your mind. Live your life without limits. No more wasting time. Don't forget to stay focused while continuing to stay on the grind. Keep your vision real tight, then your future be bright until the finish line.
Living your life without limits, family. Thank you for joining me for this special presentation on the coronavirus. And tonight I have my honored guest with me, none other than Dr. Magdy Mikhail. Mikhail. Dr. Magdy Mikhail. Dr. Magdy Mikhail is a infection prevention disease epidemiologist, and he works at several different high-profile organizations, healthcare organizations, and he's here today to educate us. Magdy, thank you so much for joining us today. We are honored to have you.
It is my real honor to enjoy working with you again.
Yes.
I can't forget the days that we worked together.
Absolutely.
You were a great leader in your hospital where we worked together.
Oh, he does my heart so good, family. We go way back, Magdy and I, and it was just an outstanding time. So I know he brings the knowledge, the experience, and the expertise on this very, very important public health awareness of this virus. So I'm going to turn it over to Magdy now. I'm going to ask the first question. And family, I want you to know tonight, if you have questions, you can send them in via Facebook or on YouTube. And we're going to leave about 15 minutes at the end to go through as many questions that we can, that Magdy himself will be answering your questions. But stay very attentive, because I want all of us to be healthy and be informed. That's what this is all about, being informed. Facts versus fiction. So we're going to turn this over to this great man in his field and expertise while he give us education on the coronavirus. Magdy, go for it.
Thank you. I'm going to start first with the name. It started where we call it 2019 novel corona virus. And in February 11, the World Health Organization changed the name to COVID-19.
Why?
What is the meaning of first, why they changed the name second? First, they call it 2019 because it appeared in December 2019.
Okay.
Novel means that it is a new disease we are not aware of. Coronavirus. Corona means sun in Latin. If you look at the screen right now, you can see how it look like circled with hooks looking as if it is raised. There's another picture also, the director gonna bring it to us, which shows all exactly, it looks like as if it is at the very end. You will see at the very end of this slides, you will see the pictures of how it looks like a sun. Keep going.
That's the last one.
This is the last one? Okay. We will get it while we are talking. So it looks like sun. That's why they call it 2019 novel coronavirus. World Health Organization changed it because it is long name. So they changed it to COVID-19. CO coming from corona. VI virus. Disease 19. So everybody, once you hear COVID-19, just to be aware that is the same name, but abbreviated a little bit to be easier to name and to call.
Okay, thank you for that. So we all started hearing about this, and our families, everyone's concerned about what's happening with this family of viruses, and all of a sudden it's out here.
Yes, 2003, a group of researchers just did the studies on the pets near in southern China, and they found 400,000 coronavirus member. 400,000. It is
400,000.
a huge family. We started from the 60s to have 2 or 3 of their members to cause mild and common cold. So we start to be aware of them. We were aware that they are always in animals and pets and cats, but 60s they start to cause common cold in human beings. Then in 2003, we start to have a new epidemic outbreak. We found out SARS, which is coronavirus. We call it SARS because it is severe acute respiratory syndrome. So we call it SARS. It killed about 774 human being, and after that in 2012 we have a new member of the coronavirus that mutated. By the way, SARS started with cats. In 2012 the coronavirus came from camels and spread mainly in the Arabia Peninsula, which is Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states. We call it Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome. We call it MERS. And it is still spreading. It's almost killed 800 and still going the outbreak over there so far. So the question is, why China?
Yes.
Some people said that it is part of the trade war between America and China. So they spread the virus over there to kill China economically. But this is not true, definitely. We will look at three theories or three expectations why SARS as well as Corona as well as COVID-19 started in China. Three major things that tell us why it started in China. One, some people can say this is conspiracy theory, but it's not. It's a fact that Wuhan has the only high-level biosafety 4, which is the highest level of lab in the whole China, and they were doing researches on coronaviruses. Some thinking that they are trying to make it as a weapon. However, this virus, that COVID-19, is not a weapon, because to make it as a weapon, number one, it has to be mechanically engineered to be like this. It has a capability to spread faster. But this virus is not meeting this criteria. In addition, that the genome, some professors studied the genome. They said, no, it is not engineered. Nobody intervened. And it is almost similar to the same sequence they found in a pat in their study back in 2003. So most likely it could be just, and by the way, this virus was kept in that lab. So most likely this could be just lab incident where this virus find its way to outside through waste, through sewage, through air, through something, went out from the containment in this lab to outside. To confirm this theory, not only we found that in February 15 last week, the Center for Disease Control of China, or Chinese Center for Disease Control, or the Ministry of Health, released very stringent regulation to control the containment of viruses in all the level of, and enforce how things can be clean, how things to be decontaminated. So this tells us that most likely it is spread from this lab that not far away from Wuhan. It is almost 10.
So how is it now spreading to humans? Because that's where we are now. It went from a lab to now it's from China to now it's in the U.S. and all in other countries as well.
We have 29 countries, so as of yesterday.
Yes.
I will say how it is spread, but let me continue. Why China? One, they have this lab. It could be lab incident. The second thing, China went through so many famines in the 50s and 60s to the level that there is a say that Chinese people, if it happened to any country, we can have the same thing. Chinese people eat everything, walk on the land, except cars. They eat everything, swim in the sea, but boats. Everything fly on the fly in the sky except airplanes. Any nation gonna do the same. So eating this kind of different birds or different animals expose the humans to these animals with the viral load they have, which we are not accustomed to, and this they find a way to infect a human, different environment for them, so they cause a strange and weird disease. This is the second reason why it is in China. The third one, also we go back to the Chinese medicine. And the Chinese medicine, they offer people to eat certain wild animal or part of their organs. This is interaction between human and these animals, and this could be a good reason to spread the virus from this animal to human and from human to human and pass away.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, they ingested infected animals in their dietary regimen. That could be one way that it began to spread.
Could be ingestion, but before that we inhale. We will interact with them.
Airborne as
Airborne.
well. Okay.
So this is the main focus right now, or our main understanding how it is spread. It is mainly airborne, or through droplet, or through sputum, somebody spit, or somebody serum or blood exposures. This can be infectious material, or could be close contact. But to say close contact means somebody stay with the person less than 6 feet, not protected, and longer than 15 minutes, which is applied to people living with the patient, with the source patient, or visiting this patient, or taking care of this patient, or just sitting in the waiting room for extended lengths of time, and this can spread the infection.
So for the audience that's seeing right now, I want to give an illustration. So you and I are in this room right now.
Yes.
And
less than 6 feet.
Less than 6 feet.
I'm in trouble now.
Or I could be in trouble.
You could be in trouble.
But one of us is in trouble. So if either one of us, audience, I want you to hear this.
Yes.
In this less than 6 feet space,
this is true.
If somebody in this room is infected with the coronavirus, we can expose the other person.
Absolutely. The droplet is safe in air, and I can ingest it. I can take it by nose, mouth, or it can come through my eyes.
And in 15 minutes, we can be exposed.
Exactly.
It don't take 2 hours, 3 hours.
No.
We don't have to be kissing. I know this, but I want to make sure
no.
people understand. We don't have to be hugging each other. Just breathe in the same space in 15 minutes.
Exactly. So there is a high... because infectivity of this organism is not that high as the other diseases, where you can just passing by or something, you can acquire it.
Wow.
So that's why we say now you have to have long, intimate, closeness between you and the person that have the virus.
But not so with the coronavirus. 6 feet or so.
6 feet it will be enough to, and sometime, and not protected by anything.
Wow.
And if you go for the mask, people think that this surgical mask they are wearing, it is not a real protection for them.
Exactly. Can we show a slide of that surgical mask? I think you have one on there.
We have a
that.
lot. This is the, okay.
Okay.
This is the above one. The one above here. Yeah, above one.
Come down,
you see here there is a line for people just waiting in front of clinic in China waiting for to be examined, you see their surgical masks are worn. It is not all the rule that give is to protect the nose and mouth from to be touched by my hand. If I shake hands with somebody or something, I will not. This is a problem of touching something and touching my nose or mouth.
Yes.
This mask will protect me for that. But real protection, if it is droplet in the air, we need the N95 mask.
Exactly. The N95.
That need to be fit tested. That's why we cannot fit test all these people. So.
And I heard, and you clarified for
Yes.
me, that there is a shortage of N95 masks because when the coronavirus hit, people sold out tremendously. I mean, they can't stock them enough. Is that true?
Don't remind me with this fact, okay? I have hospital now running out of these masks because it is mainly made in China. And China already closed their factories, and now they reopened them to make more
Produce them.
masks, to produce more. But the problem is there's not enough for China. So the other source is Mexico, but they cannot supply. The whole world need more masks. So I have hospitals where we just keep it as diamonds somewhere, not use it except with certain clear instruction from me or the CEO. Get this masks out to be used because we don't know when
And they're
we're going to get
typically
this mask.
not found in regular drugstores, usually medical supply drugstores. I don't usually see them in regular drugstores.
And now they are run out because one hospitals they try to get it from Amazon, from every kind of places. They did not find, and we are real trouble for that.
I want you to know, family, I have masks at my
Oh,
house.
that is good.
But I don't have any to supply everybody, but I have some to supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing is in you. I just want to calm everybody. And we're gonna go through some statistics.
Yes. And the symptoms is what everybody
and symptoms.
wants to know.
Okay, let us start with symptoms.
Yes.
Sign and symptoms. It has to have two parts
Okay.
to say this person has COVID-19.
Okay.
One is the sign and symptoms. Second is the travel or close contact, as we mentioned.
Okay.
The sign and symptoms, it has to have fever,
Fever.
cough,
Cough.
dry cough, and lung symptoms, which is shortness of breath and all this kind of. We find it as lower respiratory tract infection. As we mentioned that the virus, once we start to be in touch with in the 60s, it was just infecting the upper respiratory tract.
Mm-hmm.
But with SARS, it started to develop anchors that help the virus to attach to the lung alveoli, where they attach to the lung, which can cause the disease. It causes inflammation, and the inflammation just prevent breathing, the exchange between oxygen and the blood. That's why the oxygen, the blood drops, and this can cause, if we does death, if we don't catch the patient fast enough with appropriate ventilator or something like that.
Hold that thought. Are we streaming live? They're saying they're not seeing it on YouTube and Facebook.
I'm
Okay.
troubleshooting it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is all still recording, but I'm on the phone with Nola right now.
Okay.
fixing it. We might have to stream it through our page, and get it out that way. But let me.
Okay. Continue.
So we have the one portion is signs and symptoms. The other part is to be in close contact with confirmed cases within the last 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Incubation period, when we get exposed to the infectious patients, it takes 2 to 14 days. Now we are closer to identified between 5 to 7 days. But I can take up to 14 days till the sign and symptoms appear on me. That's why when we quarantine people, we quarantine them to the top, to the 14 days, to make sure that no sign and symptoms can appear on them after their exposure. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Some statistics, in addition to the 6 feet, I just gonna talk about communicability of the virus. How communicable the disease is, or what we call it RNA. How many, if I get the infection, how many people I can infect during my disease? Okay? This depends on how the virus is strong, how long the disease will take 2 days, gonna be less than the disease can be 6 days. And the population that infect per se, if it is kids with the schools, they are close to each other, playing with each other, it spread more. So for measles, one person can infect up to 18 person. Measles. One person infected gonna infect 18 person. For SARS, every person gonna get infected gonna infect 3 people. The disease that happened in 2003. For COVID-19, now with the new studies, we find that it is 2.2, which means that between 2 to 3 people only. Just to compare it with the measles, how it is spread. I'm going to give some statistics too. Another statistics just to bring it to attention how it is. For the last year, the flu in United States, only United States, how many people get infected with the flu? 41.3 million people got the infection from the flu. Just in the United States. Okay? The whole season. 41.3 million
That's
persons.
a lot of people.
So if I divide the season for 5, so it's almost 8 million per month.
Wow.
So for COVID-19, how many get infected within a month?
How many?
It was about 34,000. Now we're up to 70 or 80,000 in 2 months. Compared 8 million per month for the flu to 70,000 or 80,000 in 2 months worldwide.
Wow.
8 million in the United States only to 34,000 in 1 month worldwide. Definitely infectivity of influenza is way higher than COVID.
Yeah.
Look at the mortality.
Yes.
In the United States only, the flu killed 61,200. Just in the United States in the last season, 18 to 19 season. Okay? This season is not calculated yet. Okay? Killed 61,200. So per month, it is almost 12,000 per month. Kill. Okay? United States alone. Because this is the only number we trust. Okay? For COVID-19, how many till now? It is 2,000 in 2 months. Compare in 1 month in United States alone, 12,000 killed by the flu. Worldwide, in 2 months, it is 2,000. So per month, it is 1,000. Compare 1,000 to 12,000. This is the United States only, and this is worldwide, 1,000 per month.
Wow.
See the how the number, when you look at the number, how dangerous it is, the flu.
Right.
And we ask people to receive the flu vaccine.
Exactly.
Nobody cares.
Yes.
But
yes.
everybody's running to get
the coronavirus.
The coronavirus vaccine.
So the mortality for the flu is what you're saying is much higher in your
conflictivity and the number that kills
than it is for the
coronavirus.
Much.
However,
so you want us to calm down,
relax, and everything. Other numbers, mortality rate for how percentage of people that get the disease can be killed, For the MERS, which is another corona, it kills 34%. So if 100 people get the MERS infection disease, 34 out of them, they're going to be killed. What about COVID-19? It is 2%. Okay, another number, but don't get...
Do you think that the anxiety is because, like you started off with, that it's so new and we didn't hear about it?
Exactly.
And so it made everyone, panic and concerned, because all of a sudden you're hearing about this and you're hearing about it from there to here, and people are dying and we didn't know about it, where, like you said, the flu is more deadly, but we've been knowing about it for a while, and was like,
exactly.
Okay.
For the flu, we have vaccine.
Yes.
For the flu, we have antiviral treatment. But for this one, we have nothing to do and to deal with. That's why the scare around. And also, I want to calm our viewer or listener by saying that with SARS scare, I was working in 2023 where this virus came in. It was a huge scale like coronavirus right now. Exactly. The number of deaths was staggering outside the United States or Canada or the Western atmosphere. But when the SARS came here, no death was reported, neither in Canada, where they have many cases, as well as I think we got few cases here in the United States, but none of them happened because of the infrastructure, the public health infrastructure, as well as the treatment we can. Even we don't have a treatment for that, we can treat symptomatically, so we can prevent cases from reaching the point when they cannot fight the disease. So everybody calm down, live your life to the utmost without limits, so you can enjoy
Exactly.
you can enjoy what you are looking for. Some statistic also in the United States here, we have 15 cases confirmed positive, and 13 came in from outside, from China, basically, but only 2 are acquired the disease here. They were caregivers, husband and wife, or they said caregiver, so it is patient confidentiality, so we don't know who is, but they were patient or caregiver that acquired the infection, not healthcare worker, but it is caregiver for the patient, husband, wife, mother, that acquire the disease. Only 2, and from the whole 15 that we have here in the United States so far.
Okay. That makes me feel better. It definitely does make me feel better.
I think the media, part of it is just to encourage people to be watching the media. They give all this scares, but we need to look at facts and be vigilant when we are looking for the recommendation that we're going to say about the treatment now.
But it does mimic as if you have the flu as well, right? The symptoms are very close.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I was sitting with the medical officer. I'm part of the advisory committee for Los Angeles County on infectious disease and reducing infections, as well as antibiotic stewardship. I was sitting with assistant medical officer. I told him, oh, by the way, this corona virus back then, before they call it COVID-19, this will help people to receive the flu vaccine, because it's better to receive the flu vaccine so I don't get the flu, because the flu has almost the same signs and symptoms: fever, cough, shortness of breath. So at least I eliminate part of the scare. I don't get the flu, at least, so I don't have that scare. If I got the flu, I think it is COVID-19, and I gotta be in big bad shape. We got few cases in our hospitals, Just 2 days ago, oh my God, it was horrible. The ER calling and
Everyone's
director,
nervous. Panic.
CEO, everybody panic. Although we have planned what you're gonna do,
Yes.
everybody forget everything we told them. And just because of that, with questioning over the phone, they found out it is not. They called me, okay, I gotta give you the physician, the ER physician. Relax, doc. This 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing. Okay. So it is the flu. Just test for the flu. And they did the patient, thank God we have a rapid test for the flu. And they found out the patient is positive for the flu. So the patient was scared, the family was scared, the whole entire emergency department were in panic situation. And if this person got the vaccine this year is much better than previous year. It will help calm down everyone.
But they were thinking they had the coronavirus.
Yes.
Not even knowing it was the flu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another case we had is someone working in the as a custom agent in LAX, and they got the flu. The same scenario. I'm exposed to everybody coming in and out. Okay, let us go through this. So it will at least alleviate a lot of anxiety if the person got the flu vaccine. So at least he will not get the flu. At least he will not have that panic that have the patient.
So right now, is every facility equipped to do testing for the coronavirus versus the flu? I know they have the flu.
We have the flu, yes.
Or is it select places? Because last I heard is that they haven't developed the mechanism for everyone to have the testing yet. It's select sites.
This is true. This is true, because if we're gonna have it, everybody gonna go. Please test me for COVID-19. Am I sick or not? Just test me. No, we have it only to be done in the CDC.
Okay.
As well as 4 centers.
All right.
So any hospital just gonna take the specimen, coordinate with the local health department, and they ship the specimen, and the public health will send it to the closest lab where this test can be confirmed.
And for our listeners, the CDC stands for the Center of Disease Control.
And
just
prevention.
in case anyone doesn't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, because we may have some lay people that don't quite understand it. So very good. So
it is in Atlanta, Georgia, where they developed the test, and it is a very good test, accurate test.
Excellent.
And it will not be just. It come to my mind, let me go test, get my physician to order.
Okay.
No, they have to fill out a very extensive sheet to make sure that we are really testing the people that really need the test.
Okay, very good. Because it mimics the flu.
Exactly.
And most likely you have the flu versus the coronavirus. But you want to go and get it checked either way.
Exactly. Okay. Much better. Definitely. Any suspicion, go to emergency room, go to urgent care.
Okay.
And I highly recommend, this is going to be part of the precaution to prevent yourself, is to call the physician or ER or the urgent care before you go. Oh, I have these symptoms. I suspect having so and so. So at least they will prepare the patient or suspect person to be seen right once they come in.
Right away, and not waiting.
Not waiting in the waiting room.
Excellent.
So it's going to count.
That's great.
Per se, one of my strategies in one of the emergency room, they have a very small waiting room. So I tell them that once we have signs a lot at the entrance, if you have so-and-so, please contact. If the visitor go to the registration and tell them that we have so-and-so, we will keep the patient outside in the air, away from the door, few feet away from the door, so he will not infect anybody coming in and out, till we find a place ready for him or her to be examined and to be tested.
Okay, very good. Excellent. So, treatment options.
Oh, this is a hard question now. We are in the hard part. Actually, so far we don't have a treatment or we don't have a vaccine. However, good news is the vaccine was developed as well as primary trials of treatment. However, as you know, it has to go through testing with animals. It has to go through clinical trials before it is approved by the FDA or the government. So we don't expect any treatment or vaccination before the beginning of next year. However, so how are we going to protect ourselves? So many things that our listener or viewer can do to protect themselves. One, wash your hand for 20 seconds. Washing hand, I see people, including physicians sometimes, just putting their hands under the water and then with the soap under the water 2 seconds and that's it. No. 20 seconds mean you're going to say happy birthday twice. Not one time, twice. Happy birthday. You have to go over the palms of your hand, between your fingers, then around every fingernail you have. If you have a ring, you have to move it a little bit here or there and clean it around.
Okay.
This is going to take at least 20 seconds in order to really wash your hand. If you have alcohol gel around, at least 60%, and most of us here having the alcohol gel, you can apply it to your hand, just rub it and all over your hand until it dries. However, there is one important thing here is to make sure that your hand, if you can use alcohol gel, make sure that your hand is not soiled with anything, because any protein, any soil in your hand will deactivate the alcohol component of the alcohol gel. So the alcohol is useless to be used. So please make sure that if you are in doubt, wash your hand quickly to remove any soil in your hand. Then use the alcohol gel. Alcohol kills almost 99% of most of the viruses.
Unless it's visibly soiled.
Exactly.
I remember you teaching us that years ago. It's true. If they're visibly soiled,
absolutely,
you can't do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. It is useless because there's no alcohol. You are using just a gel that carries the alcohol. So it is useless. And the other thing is to protect, not only washing your hand frequently, as much as you can, as frequently as you can. Also, avoid touching your nose, mouth, and eyes if you are not washed. If it is not washed,
right.
Don't shake hand. Just we start to do
fist pump.
It is a trial
Yeah.
to stay away from so we can carry it to him. If you are sick with any symptoms, flu or COVID-19, stay home. This is more important for you for fast recovery as well as reduce a transfer of infections.
But there's currently, just repeat it again for the audience, there's currently no vaccination available.
Nothing this year at least.
Okay. All right.
Not before next year when we're expecting to have the new vaccine. Cover your cough if you sneeze, either with tissue or and your cover it and throw to the trash. Clean and disinfect frequently touched object with household disinfectant. Regular ones, that Lysol or whatever it is you have at home, you clean it. Just to clean the area where it is surface that most of people that in case it has some viruses here or there, you already eliminate it, because also it depends on the amount of the virus that you acquire. It is not one gonna cause the disease. No, it will be we need a amount. So frequently clean this surface will help also too. And you need to have Also, limit the visitors at your home. And if you are sitting at home, limit the visitors. And stay in one room by yourself.
In essence, put yourself in isolation.
Exactly. Exactly. Isolate yourself, prevent from coming here or there, and try to stick with that till you have feel much better.
Okay,
Yes.
I do. I feel much better.
Yes.
I do. I feel much better. Let's see. Any other questions? We are close to the few-minute mark to get on. We are live? We finally
we're
connected
live,
up?
yeah.
Okay.
We're doing it live through the third wheel.
Okay.
The other link wasn't working.
Okay.
No,
So, viewers, we apologize that we're a little late. We're getting on to you live. This video will rerun on tomorrow, on Saturday at our 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But now we are live. There was some in-studio technical difficulties, so I want to apologize for that, but there's some great information. And if you're just joining us, again, thank you for hanging in there during this time as this great information is being shared. And we're going to be opening up the lines through Facebook and YouTube, I believe. That way, if you have any questions that you didn't catch when you came on, feel free to ask them. And if not, we're going to continue with Magdy going through this very important summary.
I'm seeing questions on Facebook.
Okay, let's take a question right now. Thank you.
All right, this comes from Bongalino. He's asking, is it safe to travel to Asia?
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. No recommendation to prevent you from travel to Asia. However, if you can, just go for very necessary situation, you can. We cannot say no, and it is mostly limited to, yes, it is spread all over. If you can get us the map, yes, most of Asia now, many countries in Asia. But if you have to go there, you need to go. However, you need to take care of the things. Just to try to do hand hygiene as we mentioned, and wear your surgical mask just when you don't touch your nose and mouth. But CDC don't recommend you wearing the mask and the travel or something like that. But if you like to do it, fine. But do your best not to travel at least for the season or winter season. Wait, if you can wait, it would be much better.
Well, I actually have a question, a follow-up for you, sir. So is there a specific country that you think would be the most, where you need to be the most alert of?
China.
Actually,
Don't go to China.
Actually, it is not only China. If you can, Hubei province and Wuhan city is now under lock. Hebei province is under lock. They are the epicenter of this outbreak. So he can travel to China if it is necessary. But if he can avoid it, it would be way much better. If he can delay it, he can be. I have a friend who has business in China. He told me he canceled all his trips. And if he's going to Wuhan, he will go there and nobody will allow him to enter in. Yeah.
So to recap that, he can go, but he would recommend if you can delay it a little bit, that would be best. If you have to go, continue to practice good hand hygiene. Wear your mask when appropriately. Don't touch face, nose, mouth. And if somebody is coughing, sneezing, and breathing within that 6 feet, less than 6 feet, stay away from them.
This is true. Yes.
Okay, any other question? Thank you. And he is a family friend of Living Your Life Without Limits. He watch and support the show. We love him, Saraf. Thank you.
Thank you.
This isn't a question. Nolan just wrote in, loving the podcast, Shannon.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Any other questions we may have that came in?
Not yet.
Okay.
But any viewers out there, keep sending them.
Send the questions in if you have any questions. Anything else
the
you
good
want?
thing, the good thing that some jokes came out of this outbreak.
Yes. You think I think you have a few little comedy slides
Yes,
there.
some comic.
Oh, another question just came in from Justin Rush. Justin says, "Hi, we love you.
This
What?"
is Super Shannon, not
Yeah,
me.
which one you love?
I think it was for both you guys. Yeah.
Hi, Justin. Love you.
He wrote. I think he meant to say, "What does the coronavirus do?" He wrote, "What does the coronavirus?" But I'm pretty sure he meant like, "What does the coronavirus do to you, like to your body?"
Yes. So if you actually are infected, thank you so much for your question, Justin. So he wants to know if you actually are infected, what is it? How does it impact your body?
Yes, the corona. I said that the mutation that happened this year is starting with the SARS and MERS. That the virus start to attach to the lung cells. Once it attach, it causes inflammation. Infect the cells, cause inflammation. The inflammation will make a barrier with a fluid exudate there that makes a huge barrier between the oxygen we inhale, which is in the alveoli, and the blood that need the oxygen. The more inflammation, the less oxygen gonna go to the blood, which cause more respiratory symptoms and body failure, multi-organ failure, and death.
So even though, and thank you for saying that, Magdy. So even though we were telling earlier on, and you'll hear it on the replay on tomorrow, that the flu is much more dangerous than the coronavirus. However, I want the listeners to understand the coronavirus is also dangerous.
Dangerous, yes.
And it can kill you. But the mortality rate is much less than it is with anything else. But there has been reported deaths of the coronavirus.
Absolutely.
That's there,
so
and
far.
it rapidly
Absolutely.
kills because there's no cure yet. However, what he wanted us to understand is that, even though it is serious and it's important, he doesn't want us to be so paranoid that we can't function. He wants us to live our life without limits and still take the same precaution you would as if you were being preventative from getting the flu.
Absolutely true.
Okay, good. Thank you, Justin. I love you back.
Thank you.
Good question.
Good question.
Some more folks are sharing this stream, by the way, just so hopefully some more questions coming in.
Excellent.
LaRonda Mundy just shared the post with the stream. So
Okay. Love LaRonda. Excellent.
Let us get us one joke so we can.
Yes, get that joke
at
out
least
there.
one joke or two.
We're going to make some lighthearted here.
Yes, at least we will not. Okay, this is the picture. Okay, this is the
Oh,
Valentine.
this is cute.
We're gonna be. Everybody
That's Lucy. Isn't that Lucy?
Lucy.
Lucy and Desi.
Okay, come the next one. This is the wedding, real wedding, where everybody.
this is real. This wasn't a joke.
This is a real wedding now.
Real
Okay, now this
wedding.
is extreme.
Yes, and if we have more cases here, we're going to do the same. Okay, this another one.
Wait a minute. One person was brave. Two people did not wear the mask. Everybody else did.
Oh yeah, this guy up here.
He's like, okay, I'm going to
He's
get
covering his nose with. Probably be removed just for the picture.
Oh, look here.
This is the future of our wedding.
All right, now this is a good date one. If you're dating someone that you don't like, you can say, "I have the coronavirus." Get away from me! Put your mask on.
This is the future
is
wedding
good.
that we have here. The last one is something from the Middle East.
Okay,
the
translate.
guy is taking shisha or hookah and saying to the other, "What are you gonna get to your wife in the Valentine Day?" He told him, "I'm gonna give her a ticket to China."
I like it. It's good.
You hear this, family? family, the husband.
We have another question. It's from Chanel Colleen. Chanel wants to know, should I be worried about packages coming from China?
This is a very
Excellent.
common question.
Excellent.
Thank you
Excellent
so
question.
much. Very
Love
intelligent
Chanel. That's my daughter. Shout out to my daughter, my bestie.
Oh, that's always sweet. Support from the family.
question. So I need to give her more extended
No,
answers since you are
no,
daughter?
no. Just to say.
Okay. To be honest with you, there is no confirmed link between the shipping packages and corona. Mainly it is respiratory.
Okay.
However, said that, be careful if you get a package from China. Make sure that if you can wear gloves, this is fine. Open it, and after that, remove the gloves, wash your hand, then handle the stuff inside.
Are they doing anything at our ports to even like scan those in some way? Are they taking any precaution that we are aware of or not aware of?
The precaution is for the travelers.
Ah, okay.
So the Trump administration prevented any entrance to United States except for the United States citizen, their first family relative from first degree, and business only coming with no history of travel to China within the previous 14 days.
Okay. So there's a travel ban right now.
Travel ban
entering into the United States. And probably other countries as well, right?
Yes, this is right, but I'm just familiar with that.
Okay.
And everybody coming to United States, they will be checked in the main airports, the screen temperature and everything. And the question is, did you travel to Hebei province or Wuhan city? If yes, if he has symptoms, he can go directly to the hospital. If he has no symptoms, they're gonna take him or her to a quarantine for 14 days. If anywhere else other than this, the two questions, if he has signs and symptoms, they're gonna put him in a hospital. If not, they're gonna give him a card. They educate the person. This is the signs and symptoms. If you have this signs and symptoms, please contact this number, and so we will prepare to everything for you. He will call or she will call the public health. Public health will arrange what is the closest hospital that is equipped to having this patient, because we need to have a very special room to have this patient. The airborne isolation. This room, any patient room we change the air twice per hour. For this room, we change it 12 times per hour. So we make any droplet disappear quickly from this room. And the air coming out of this room will not be shared with any other room, will be discharged to outside, 20 feet out of any air intake from outside.
Okay.
Normal hospital or any house, they take some air from outside and circulate the air from inside.
Right.
So they don't have to have expensive or exhaust their air conditioning system. But this room has its own everything, and anti-room, and everybody coming in to wear the N95.
Right.
You know the regulation, the requirement, the testing of this room to make sure that this person is not contagious to anybody around.
Excellent. So I always like to ask our guests some final thoughts to leave with our viewers. And I want you to give one summary, if you will, on this coronavirus, especially for those that kind of tuned in late, because we had some technical difficulties on what is it that they need to watch for really quickly on there. And I know you also had something motivational, inspirational to say as well. So let's start with the closing on the coronavirus. Give them a highlight. What is it, the bullet quick that they need to know before leaving here?
Flu vaccine, as you mentioned, is more contagious or more spread than the coronavirus. It kills more number, although the fatality rate of the flu virus is 0.5 because of our treatment and vaccine. But for the COVID-19, is 2%. So the number is higher, but because of infectivity is way higher with the flu, the number that kills is not compared at all with the COVID. So take care of the flu better than and wash your hand as frequently as you can. Clean your surface as much as you can. However, and I will say something at the very end, people are scared to death from dying. And this is very alarming when I see people are very respected, very knowledgeable, very rich people, scared to death to acquire coronavirus. Why? Because they're afraid from death. However, Jesus overcome death.
Yes.
So you are not scared from death.
Amen.
According to Jeremiah, he put heaven in your end in your heart. If you are going to heaven, you will not get scared from anything. Yes, you will be careful.
Yes.
But you are not that scared. Everything is in the hands of my God, my Father, who cares a lot about me. So just enjoy your life. Enjoy having good relationship with God. Everything go to its place. It will not be a scare. It will not be useless, carelessness, but it will be true, careful attitude toward the things.
Well said. I'd like to thank Magdy again for taking time to share with us, to calm our nerves, our anxiety, and to inform us on this coronavirus. And I want to thank you, the listeners, for joining me every week. My intention is to continue to bring you information and knowledge for you to make informed decisions and live your life without limits. I appreciate you. Remember to love yourself, take care of yourself, because guess what? You are worth it. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you next week. This episode will replay in its entirety on tomorrow. So if you got a chance to miss any of it when we started, don't worry, we got you covered. God bless you. I love you. Continue to rock with your girl, because guess what? We are just getting started. Take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.